hand. I don't know.
The
We
evil
have to
hand of
think
the
of
law.
better. We'll have to think of more nicknames for him as we get back underway. It will be Palmer
Varesh? Varesh?
What?
Real? Wow. Oh, people in chat, we're going on about Pearl, Taya, and Varesh being like the hidden picks. Well, we've got Varesh for you. We don't have Pearl, though. Mr. Hudat's not going for Pearl. Apparently, they're going for Lucy. But 1 out of 3 so far, we have a Varesh.
A Varesh is a very interesting pick. Surprising, almost. Rukan, Polymer, Varesh as the lineup. I'm surprised he didn't go. Well, let's be honest. What does Rukan not do? Sorry, not Rukan. Jumong not do that Varesh does? And it will be Rukan versus Rukan matchup as the final
Silence?
pick is. Yeah, that is true. And
It's hard to set up, but yeah, there's that. Actually, Silence and also Varesh can massively reduce the amount of damage dealt by the opposing team. Like, there's a lot of stuff he does setting up and keeping them from dealing damage, keeping them taking more damage, but it's very difficult to set up. So there's stuff he can do that Jumong can't. It's just how efficiently can it be done is the question. And that's the real thing. But we'll see. I want to see this used. I want to see this used well.
We will be going into the map draft. It will be okay. Earth, Water, Arrows turn to ban. Okay, I think I am using this software incorrectly because it keeps giving it to red instead of blue. Oh well, we'll be sorting that out later.
It's a roulette wheel. All the little wedges are red.
Yes.
There's a little 0-0. That's also red.
No, it's supposed to be green. Never mind.
This time it's red.
Okay, this time it's red.
Yeah.
Mongo Meter will have their turn to ban as Mount Araz Day. Standard pickup will go out. Battlefield.
All right. So yeah, that's not surprising. I mean, we did see Mount Araz Day last time, and it was actually not as bad as I thought it would be. Didn't actually work out to be as cramped. It was still kind of cramped though. So I still think that's why. If anyone else has a better reason, please let us know in the chat, because I don't. Yeah, it seems like a really sensible reason to me. 3v3, you don't want to be body blocking.
Just waiting on Mongo Meter's turn to ban.
Yeah, Mongo Meta is, man, what they have, what they're going for. I don't know. Ormond Temple Day. Well, no surprises there. We're never going to see Ormond Temple. Mount Res Knight. Earth, Water, Arrow does not want that at all. I mean, Mount Res Knight does not surprise me because of the way the walls are set up. It's very difficult to get into that center, especially from coming in. Granted, Emperor is not a player that rushes very often. Like, they rush when they need to, so they don't need that opening as much. They'll go around the sides, no big deal. Ormond Temple also out for Mongo Meta. They do not want to have to worry about those walls. They don't have to worry about the weird square bits. And Blackstone Arena is probably the next one down.
Blackstone Arena Knight. So I reckon if they want an open map, it will go to Skyrim Knights. But
as it always has.
Yeah. But we could be seeing Blackstone Arena Knights.
I don't know. Earth, Water, Arrow. I don't think they'll allow it. I think they're going to take out Blackstone Arena Knight. They took out the day version, and the day version is far less punishing than the night version.
Well, you never know. They could be thinking that they... Yeah, no, it's going to be Skyrim Knight. Come on.
Yeah, it's
prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, go for it, Mr. Hudat. Just, it's all on you. Well, eventually.
Eventually. They're having an actual serious discussion about this. I'm quite surprised, actually.
Well, I mean, the thing is, Skyrim Knight's really kind of difficult because there's nowhere to hold. Like, there's nothing that you can actually stick to that you can keep the opposing team in any position.
There we go.
And Skyrim Knight, of course. No, that's always how it's going to happen. It's one of the few maps that I'd say is really great for 3v3.
It's just so open and easy to move around. The walls, of course, are kind of lacking, and there's not a lot of corners except for the top corner and the bottom corners.
Yeah, but it's the closest thing you'll get to Bako's Grave. So
yeah,
and Bako's Grave was a pretty good map back in BLC.
Oh, I just realized Bako's Grave. Bako. Yep.
I know, right?
Geez.
BR
Well,
being BLC's prequel confirmed.
Bill prequel. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, well, Baco, if it's Baco's grave and Baco's alive now, that means that his grave would be dug after he
Oh.
died.
Doesn't explain the graphics change, but we will be getting right underway as soon as I ready up, because I am the person who forgot to do that.
Yeah, so we have, is everyone going for purple stuff here? No, it's just the weird art. Just that one Rukon little scythe. Yeah, so Rukon, Paloma, and did not expect that. Rukon, Paloma, Varish against Lucy, Rook, and Rukon. Aramil apparently is filling in for In the Flesh.
That is correct. We're going to have two sides having to use a stand-in for now. They'll have to be very careful. Using too many stand-ins can lead to point deductions, but we will be letting them go for now. Potency, Chaos Blast Shield. What does this Lucy pick up first? That is the question.
Well, yeah, because I mean, Panic would allow for the Rukon to get off of her and keep Paloma and Varesh from being there. But the thing is, Panic! I was about to say, Clarity Potion would be great for getting rid of the Varesh. I mean, okay, you can use it anyway, but getting rid of the Varesh debuffs. And the Root, well, if Root comes up from subbed from the Ghost Wolf, which it often does, and the Silence from Sesh, which will come up, but we'll probably see Clarity Potion used on its own, and Panic Blast being used because Soft Sesh, well, Sesh and Hertz particularly, are probably going to be fairly close together.
Soft picking up the Wolves, pretty standard otherwise from everyone else. We are underway.
And already we see Hertz getting pulled in pretty hard, having inhibitors guard themselves, getting other sided out of there, managing to get a few of their debuffs in there. Good hands of corruption, take that out, but ultimately not managing to deal all that much damage. Not a whole lot's actually happened yet.
Just all this constant healing, meaning that we'll finally get a little bit of HP loss on the side of Armil, but even that's not enough. It's only like 2/3. Oh, no, never mind.
No, it's half now. Oh, wow, almost dead. The Wraith form coming out of Sesh is killing Aramil, finishing them off too.
He does have full ultimate, and it will go to the Lucy. But never mind.
Nope.
A full soul orb dropping onto the deck. It'll have to be considered by Emperor as he desperately fights to stay alive.
I gotta say, that was 2 ultimate kills in a row. I mean, all we need now is just to have Varesh, but I don't think Varesh is going to be able to pull that off. And there's the Earthquake to try to pull back.
No, stunned!
Yep, that's right. And another ultimate kill coming in there. That's blue team's. That's what they're going to go for. Get the ultimates, get the Wraith form, get the Ancestral Spirit. How many times does Ancestral Spirit kill? I mean, that almost never happens. It was just the snare. Lucy was in the right spot, didn't have roll, didn't have any escapes, and Aramil was already dead, so they couldn't use Claw of the Undying to pull them out of there.
Oh, it just is. It's like most of the time it's just used for heals. Like you go, it's like a worse Lucy ult. So it's like, if we drop it, they'll just roll out, and then we just walk right into it and get the heals out of it. But no, I actually managed to kill that time. Emperor be getting stunned halfway through that ultimate. That's incredibly.
Yeah.
It's hard to do, but it is possible because as he jumps up and down, the 2 seconds, the 2 frames where he's on the ground, he is actually physically able to be hit.
Yeah, so that obviously did work out for there, but still, that still was tough to hit.
Yes, it is incredibly hard to hit.
So, some nice shots coming in here from, actually, Emperor getting really far forward. Although Red Team sticking together somewhat, does manage to get the orb, which is good, and managing to keeping Sesh from being too comfortable.
Duhat's in the wrong place. He's no, never mind. He's managing to walk right back out because Soft and Turds aren't even focusing. They're trying to work out on Arvil, and who has full ultimate right now, but a very low HP bar.
Yeah, so at this point, and the ultimate coming in from Varish. That not managed to do a whole lot of damage. Emperor putting all the pressure onto Hertz. Hertz is, oh, wow, Panic breaking incapacitate. I guess that would be a thing, but bit of a coordination mistake there. Still, Session 1v1 with Aramil getting saved just barely.
Here goes nothing, and they don't have any escapes. Soft's used them almost all. He does manage to get out at the last second, but Sesh is on... Oh, he does pop his ultimate on low health.
Unfortunately, mostly for damage. Doesn't kill Aramel with it, only damages Mr. Hudat for the most part. So not as productive. Still 3-3.
He had to turn around and not use the hand on Emperor because he had the invulner.
Yeah, it's always the tricky thing with those counters. I mean, Emperor's been doing really well at getting those counters triggered. They're, however, silenced. Oh, well, nothing really taking advantage of that. They were out of position. Didn't manage to get hit, though. And another ultimate coming out from Hertz in a second, and the Special Spirit will manage to... Oh, no! Does not come out! Oh, that could have come out. That could have done so much.
Soft does have ultimate again. It will hit on... No, it will be buried.
Well, it still healed, so it still did its work. But it looks like this, at this point, Earthwind Arrows, or Earthwater Arrow getting their... Actually, losing their Rukon.
Sesh on 1 HP. Okay, that was interesting. It will be Sop versus a full ultimate Duhat as the walls of the arena start going down. Good panic, but won't be good enough. Circle isn't falling that fast.
That was good soul drain, though. I mean, I like to see soul drain more than I like to see the use of Spirit Rift, because you get that extra, you get the healing, and you get the damage. It's nice to see that little bit. It costs meter, but in a 2v1 situation, it's pretty much Paloma's only real option. Or at least a reliable option. Wolf is another, if you have the spacing.
Fun fact here, Hertz did 1,000 damage during that second round. 1,500 on Hertz, but Sov 1,700. It was such a long round. Everyone's in the thousands for that score.
Yeah, which is probably going to be how this is going to go. These teams seem relatively evenly matched, and that's with the Varish too. So everyone's counting Varish out. I don't know. It's as long as Hertz doesn't get locked down in a really bad position, they should be okay.
As we get back on the way, round 3. Like, both are just trying to grab the orb. It will be grabbed up by the boys in blue.
And silencing as well on Aramel, so Aramel not able to do much. Another silence between the Defile Blade and the Shatter. It's like everything just going silence. And another silence. Stop. Oh, Clarity Potion at the last second. Nicely done. Stop the silence. 1, 2. Misses on the third, but will hit Taher, and then Taher doesn't have an exit. He leaps back into the goo. Okay, sure, we'll take that. Well, they have the Ancestral Spirit at least, so that's one way out of there. And unfortunately for Hertz getting hit, Wuju getting them out of there. They've really got to throw those Hands of Corruption, get their heal. Oh, at this point, it's really just managing their health, keeping it up. And
Rukon does have full ultimate though. Sesh.
Don't die, Sesh. Sesh, you have your ultimate. Just make it work. Get the healing.
He's have all the shields on him, but a grab. Missed ultimate there, but 1, 2, 3, but the barrier will be blocking it. Probably the worst thing about Varesh. It's kind of obvious when you're using that ultimate. You are invulnerable during it, though, so that's the upside.
Yeah, that is true. Although, really, with Varesh, next round is when things become serious. Because at next round, Varesh can start maintaining Judgment using Hand of Corruption. And so he gets that extra damage easily.
Well, the question is, will he actually pick it up? He should. What he's picked up is Devastation, Wonder, Synergy. So both the effects will be reapplied. So this will go into a very interesting 4th round.
Yeah, it's always that's when Varesh shines, is always round 4. If you're ever in a ranked match, if you're ever in a best of first of 3 against a Varesh who's halfway decent, you do want to get them. I mean, obviously, you almost never see Varesh in ranked, but if you ever do, it's like you always want to kill them before round 4. Otherwise, things become that much harder.
Not much other changing in the way of Battlerite. Armin instead picking up the Death's Embrace Claw instead of Gorge by Sesh. But as we do get underway, it's Sesh just in this weird position. It's just a mess of a fight.
Yeah, Sesh, however, holding their own quite well. I mean, they're taking some damage now, but unfortunately they have to worry about the ultimate coming in there. And that's the thing. Oh, nice use of Nether Void to get out of that rush range. And the ultimate versus ultimate. And we still have a goo on deck, and there it is.
Cool.
No one's on the spirit.
What?
Doing damage to the goo, killing everything. That was...
Hertz must have been caught on the edge of that. That was very close. Rukan's down, and it'll be Soft versus the world.
Soft
Nope.
just throwing in the towel.
Yeah.
I mean, they want to just go to the next round, save their energy. I can see that.
Nah, that's understandable. 3-1 in favor of Earth, Water, Arrows.
Yep. So, Earth, Water, Arrows. Is there anything that... That question really is more so, what is Mongo Meta gonna do at this point? Because they are playing a rather unconventional team, and it has not been working out as well as they probably would like. Hertz has been not getting split up so much, and Sesh is more the one getting split up a lot. Sesh has been kind of going in the back lines, and it's been risky, and it's only paid off really once, if that.
Soft picking up the Condemn, so second impact of the Ancestral Spirit will inflict a stun.
What?
Double Hunger.
No, wait. Second impact, what? No one.
The second impact of second impact of Ancestral. Yeah. No, it happens from time to time if you don't want the heals, but he's trying to get he's just trying to land it for the damage, I guess.
Which is very difficult to do. I mean, if they pull it off, I'll be impressed, but that is tough.
Oh,
anyway,
Hertz got all the barriers up, managing to avoid all that damage, but then invuln.
Yeah, and good Wuju coming in there. It's always what they need. And they are also making sure that Emperor's dealing less damage. I mean, granted, Emperor's got armor break, but still, red team taking the orb, and to Hertz folks, entirely an Emperor.
There's the ultimate 1, 2, 3. Will focus entirely on Duhat, and then he's silenced.
And on top of that, more debuffs coming out of there. And there's the ultimate coming out of Aramil. Finally, we see them throw out an ultimate. But not actually managing to get a lot out of it. Getting silenced halfway through, too. To Hertz, you're making that Varesh pay off.
1, 2, no, dodge roll out of the Hertz Varesh ultimate. Oh, very good play there.
Yeah, so many silences coming out of Mongo meta. And that seems to be, that's not Mongo meta, it's silence meta. They want to stop their opponents from doing anything. But the goo, that's hurt.
Good goo.
That's gonna hurt loads. The Essential Spirit trying to heal with the smack to get to Hertz out of there before any healing can be applied. Clever.
There's a good grab onto Varesh. He is going to have to art himself out, but then he's grabbed again. Oh, this hook. The hand hook.
Ooh. And Aramil with the ultimate after the meatball killing off to Hertz. And with that, still going to be very tough. Sesh still tries to silence Mr. Huda, but really that silence is just a stop you from doing one thing.
There's the ultimate from Soft. Will re-heal.
At the very least, that's sustain. That's what they need. Ooh, nice! Getting that positioning there.
But he's going out of the circle. He has the other side away out of the circle. And we are getting a very small arena here. And
did you see that? Did you see that discipline on Emperor? The Spirit Rift coming out there halfway through the melee strikes, and Emperor just stops right away.
Oh Jesus! This is getting.
Sorry, go on.
No, you go.
Okay, well, yeah, that's what you do when you're dealing with someone who's going to throw out counters like that, or throw out, in this case, of course, not so much a counter, but still, same general idea. Don't hit it.
We are 4-1, and it is map point in this map 1.
And at this point, I mean, I feel like blue team does have a bit of a better idea how to play this, but they are still triggering counters in a way that's not ideal. I mean, Emperor's been getting a lot of counters that's helped loads, letting them get in, letting them deal the damage, and to Hertz has no way out of that other than basically Wuju.
I do hate to say this, but there's a reason why Varesh is not played as much. Oh, good ultimate there by Duhat, pushing everyone into the poison goo, but it will be countered mostly by Soft's own ultimate. Aramil
down, but Sesh so close to down as well. That smack almost killing them. Good other side, good, and inhibitors guard. But, oh, wow, nice consume. Stopping everything.
There's one hand.
Sesh gonna get the kill. You could. You might be able to.
No.
Not in the ultimate, but maybe.
Instead, he'll just try and focus onto this Rook, or actually just back out. He is getting rather low and does need stuff to heal him back up.
Man, those rushes, I mean, blue team's getting really good at realizing when they're coming, knowing when they're actually coming, and countering them as they need to. Oh, other side.
Good other
Does
side.
still hit, but doesn't get the...
Ooh!
Not the consume like last time.
Crippling Goo does land onto Hertz, and he is getting seriously damaged there. Has to R away. Lucy is down against, and it is a 3v1 Rook against the world.
And Rook
Emperor?
not going to go for the Earthquake, going for the Eat instead.
I think
I'm
that's
not surprised
pretty
by in that
standard.
still.
No.
Ouch.
Well, it is not map over yet. We are 2-4. Pretty standard Battlerite off the top of my head. Eternal,
Yeah.
just gaining inhibitor's guard when powers combined is used. Condemned, as we've already said. Double hunger, earthquake, tremor, inflicts armor break, and sticky goo. Nothing much in the way of weirdness there.
No, that's pretty much the meta pick. You don't really see much else for the ultimates Battlerites. Which is generally the case with a lot of heroes I've noticed. Although Panic getting Poloma and wow, everyone but Sesh out of there. Not for long though, and at this point, I mean, Emperor being a bit dangerous there. Sesh being far more dangerous there. At least Emperor has the counter they can work with. And Sesh getting themselves
to Hertz,
saving themselves. Yeah, good counter there. I mean, I feel like a lot of blue team, what they're trying to do is get in and then counter their way back out. But the Panic Flask into the Crippling Goo to Hertz, taking all that Crippling Goo damage, trying to Wuju the way out of there. It doesn't work. Half health thanks to that Crippling Goo, and that's to Hertz down. Ancestral Spirit to try to deal with Emperor. Does the damage, gets the stun. That's at least something.
And that is actually going to be very close to Sesh actually falling down. And then, yep, that will be the map in favor of Duhat, Emperor, and Armil. That will be Mongo. Sorry, it will be
Earth, Water, and Arrow.
Arrows. Mongo me being the other side. We'll be
so
right.
One map?
Yeah.
I mean, that's map one. So
yeah,
one more at least, possibly two. Depends on what happens.
Well, we'll be getting right back in with our choice of map. Our choice of heroes. It will be Mongo me to decide who to go first.
Man, I wonder if they're gonna go for Varish again. I mean, that was odd, but I feel like they kind of had some rationale. It seemed like it did do some work for them. Definitely unusual, though. Curious.
It'll be interesting. Will they pick up the Varash again? That's the other question. Well, let's be honest. No. No. Sorry.
We'll see. I don't know. The fact that they picked it in the first place was just weird. But we'll see what happens.
Rukan, first pick up by Mongo Meter.
Well, no surprise there.
Lucy Rook.
So that's for Earth, Water, and Arrow. Once again, no surprises. Standard team. But now, here's the thing. Paloma Varesh again! Rukan, Paloma Varesh. We're not seeing any change. If it worked the first time, why change? The problem is it didn't. I mean, it sort of did, but not really.
Oh, jeez.
Well, at any rate.
And Rukan is the last. We're just going to be starting up the observer links for Battlerite Drafter.
All right. So I mean, at this point, once again, we saw Skyring Knight, and once again, we saw that it really came down to which team was better at the really close surrounds and knowing their position in game without really anything else to help them. Although, admittedly, Rook does rely on walls for smack.
That is quite true, but I think what we'll be seeing is probably moving away from Skyring Knight, as you have said. Mongo Me is turned to ban.
I can't imagine Mongo Mena allowing it. They'd probably drop it. Ormond Temple Knight, though, that's their first pick. Or first strike, rather.
Maybe we'll see Blackstone Arena Knight.
Maybe. I mean, that would actually work pretty well for them if they could get their team in a corner, the other team, Earthwind and Arrows in a corner, and then just keep them silenced and keep them from really moving around too much. I mean, there's not a whole lot that. I mean, Varesh does the debuffs, which is kind of nice. And Mount Raz Day for Earth, Water, and Arrow, which I think we're just going to see banned as a matter of course. I mean, we saw it once. It was all right. I don't think we're going to see it again.
As we go through the draft, it's Mongo Meter's turn to pick.
Meter taken to
Both
okay.
Araz and Ormond Temple completely taken now.
Once again, we have Skyring and Blackstone Arena. It's almost like Ormond Temple and Mount Araz aren't really good for 3v3. That's the impression I'm getting.
Well, they are. Like, we do see Mount Araz picked up some of the time as a pretty casual map.
And once again, Skyring Knight, Blackstone Arena Knight, and Mongo Meta, I believe, has the last pick on this one. We might actually see Blackstone Arena Knight if they don't want to risk it again.
No. It's going to be
No! That's it! They do not want Skyring Knight. Finally, we're getting Blackstone Arena in this. It's about time.
Oh. We are going... Oh, no. Just waiting for a few changes in the match settings, and we will get right back underway with our second map, Blackstone Arena Knight. Just tell us about this map. The walls on the sides, just blocking the corners.
It's more of a pocket because the north-south walls, the way they cut everything, it means that the northeast and southwest form pockets, and it's very easy to get caught there. There are corners, and they're kind of tempting to use them for cover, but it's easy to either get split up there or to just get that entire line in between becomes a choke point, and you get contained inside there. And unless you're really good at juking in very tight spaces, it's almost impossible to avoid getting hit and just getting worn down. And of course, you don't have center control. You don't have the center orb. You don't have the center rune. You're kind of stuck trying your best to fight your way out of that contained situation.
We'll be going into the nice blue Blackstone Arena Knight right now. Exact same team lineup. Soft on the Polymer, Sesh on Rukan, Tahertz on Resh. On the other side, Lucy on Mr. Duhat, Aramal on his Rukan, and Emperor doing the Rook.
Yeah, Mr. Hudat. They did pretty good Lucy. I've never really seen their Lucy before, but I was impressed. I liked how they did it. I liked how it worked.
And let's be honest, I am actually liking Rook as a pickup right now. It's especially with the Backo ban. Well, Backo not ban, but the nerfs that he has had to his kit as we get underway with round 1 of this map 2.
And at this point, blue team they're getting dangerous. They're not quite in the pocket, but getting close to it. Looks like they're trying to push Aramel into the northeast, but getting pushed in themselves, and now Tahertz way too far ahead. Sesh, you got to protect them.
All picked up by the blue team here as Soft just trying to work out who to heal.
Yeah, Soft looks like they're focusing entirely on Sesh, which makes sense. Sesh is taking a lot of the frontline damage, and an ultimate coming out very early out of the Varesh, out of Tahertz. And Ancestral Spirit as well. Will that hit? It will indeed hit. Mr. Hudat taking a lot of damage from that Ancestral Spirit, so last ultimate coming out from the blue team. And they're in the pocket. Red team's in the pocket.
Everyone just trying to work out how to get out of there. It looks like Tahertz is going to R out. Armil on very low HP will fall down with a full soul orb dropping onto the ground. Mr. Duhard picks it up for the very last second. And
out of the goo, nice.
Yeah.
So this map has worked for round 1 at least.
Yep. Looks like Emperor's just trying to work out what to do here. We'll charge into the orb to take it.
And at least that's something. It does give the red team something to work with, but still ultimates coming on all sides. Tahertz is probably going to throw it as soon as they get close enough to Emperor, or at least as soon as they stun them. I can't imagine they're going to throw it out there if Emperor has the Crushing Blow. There's Crushing Blow, and where's... Oh, no ultimate. No,
it will just... Yeah, they'll just be completely wailing on him. It's not much else to do here. There's just too much of a health difference, I guess.
There's the ultimate, and it misses. A bit too far away. But yeah, it's just a matter of time. There it is. There's Emperor down. So with that, looks like Mongo Meta has the right idea.
No, I think the change of map might have helped them a little here. Well, helped them a lot.
Yeah, they
a little less tight. Yeah, a little less tight, a little more, a little less room to maneuver for the Duhat. because as a Lucy, you really want the escapes. Really, you want areas to just roll out of and big open spaces to escape. You don't want to be stuck in a corner.
You also want to be able to juke a lot because Lucy has got a
Yes.
tiny hitbox, so she has some juke potential, more than most. But in a map like this, you're so close quarters that it's very difficult to get out of that angle, get out of the hitbox range, where they could just spin a tiny little bit and still hit you.
Just quickly, Battlerite, Sesh picking up Agony. The Shadow Bolts deal 6 points damage versus Armor's landing Claw of the Rook will reduce cooldown.
Yeah, which probably worked really well in Sesh's favor, given what happened last time, the amount of Shadow Bolts that were used. And once again, Aramel taking all the focus. Emperor managing to take some of the pressure off and punish Seth. But Sesh still able to get the orb and still able to work with everything.
God, it's just both sides kind of just ignoring the heals and doing, nope, I think we can out-damage you. There's an ultimate.
And the roll to get Mr. Huda out of there. They had their escapes that time.
Double panic. They're just going back into their spawn.
Oh, but at this point, switching sides, red team taking the center control, but so low on health. A few good hits, and Aramil got the consume in there, but nice Wuju to stop the rush. So Aramil getting the consume, didn't manage to do much, and now the ultimate to finish it off. Is that gonna work? No, not quite.
Mr. Duhart needs to realize when all his other the enemy has his escapes. Just had Sesh just rolling right back out of that. Emperor really low on health.
Emperor is low on health, but it's still Rook, so unless they're completely hit in a burst, they can eat their way back to health. So that's the one thing, and there's the vulnerability too to Hertz. Their side at the last second.
Jeez, Armor had to use his R to avoid a fresh point. Oh, there's one,
nice,
two,
and not
three.
Quite
No,
two.
barrier
stops it. Barrier stops it.
Doesn't matter.
Not enough. Shatter finishes it.
Mash.
Nope. Soul transfer. Soul transfer stops it. You can't work with it.
I didn't think that worked like that, but apparently it does.
I didn't realize that either.
Yeah, you learn a new thing every day as the Emperor has to dash out of the pocket.
Yep, so take-home lesson of the day is soul transfer cancels moves. And that is it. Second round goes to Mongo Meta.
Jeez. A bit of a change-up from last map, but it definitely is helping. And to Hertz getting over 1,000 damage, nothing else really to note apart from open. Okay, 947 healing, 509 from Soul Bolt. That's pretty scary if you think about it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's Paloma. The longer she goes, she's just firing that all the time, especially in threes. Paloma is a monster in threes, just because of that. Or at least more so than in twos. She has more targets to hit with her healing. Although, once again, getting in the northwest. Got to get out of there. Got to make sure they're not being too caught up there. And Sov getting a lot of pressure, but able to push it away.
Interesting grabs here. Just Armil trying to get Tahertz away. Tahertz has to R.
And Tahertz getting saved with the other side, but still very low on health. Mr. Hudat being forced into the corner. And Shadow Bolts try to finish it off. Shadow Bolt Claw the Wicked, the Bears. Don't try to knock through that. Just save your cooldowns. And there goes Mr. Hudat down. But Tahertz is almost down as well. This could very well be a 2v2 any minute now if Tahertz is not careful.
Tahertz really sad that he missed his ultimate. There's the smash. And he's
on the reform to get out of there. So
okay,
still alive, still going.
So apparently Sesh can actually grab Emperor and the ultimate will still go though for Emperor.
Yeah,
so it's a bit different from
soul transfer.
Well, soul transfer does turn you, take you out of the map, I guess, and then puts you back in because
that's probably why.
Yeah, it's a bit different from the grab and push and pull. Oh well, 3-0 in favor of Mongo Meta. This is quite different from the first map that we saw. I get.
I mean, I get that. I totally see how one map would be far different than the other, especially for a team composition that is. I mean, they're kind of a slow team composition. All their characters are relatively slow, especially Varish. But in general, Sesh is the only one with any massive mobility options.
And here comes the fun. The synergy is up on Tarhurt, so once he inflicts judgment and corruption, it's going to be both applied whenever he wants.
Yeah, which admittedly at this point they almost don't even need. Although it will matter. I mean, Earth, Water, and Arrow could still be adapting, and they are trying to split up. I mean, wow. At this point, getting saved by the other side, but Sesh, that was what they needed. They're still being really risky. Aramil's taking all the damage, not able to silence as much as they need to, not able to get hit or getting hit more than they want to, and that's really not working in their favor.
They need to start deciding on targets to focus. It's just being a bit of a run-of-the-mill 1v1.
Yeah. And there's the ultimate.
2.
Taking out Mr. Huda. All the shots of Mr. Huda. No barrier in time either. And that was with the extra damage too, because of corruption or because of judgment.
Geez, Duhat is silenced. He has to get out of the pocket. But on the other side, looks like South actually falls. They don't have any more heals apart from the orbs around. Jeez.
And, the ultimate coming in there, but barrier on Mr. Huda to save their life, and the meatball to finish off to Hertz. And Sesh, are you going to be able to do the ultimate to win? No, unfortunately not. And Earth, Water, and Arrow back on the board.
Won't have a donut here, although Emperor his fish for that last kill. You don't really see Rook throwing their meat around a lot. They prefer to save it for, let's just say, eating it. So it's quite interesting. As we do get into the 5th Battlerite, Hunger, Eternal, the exact same pickups from last map. No surprises.
Although I'm still
there.
Condemn. I don't quite get Condemn, but I mean it has come up a few times. That second hit has actually triggered on several occasions. Oh, clutch other side to get out of the boulder toss. And oh no, Soft Sesh, you're getting caught in the pocket. Don't do that. I mean, Soft at least can other side out of there, but Sesh, another voiding out of there too. So Soft is the only one who's stuck. They need to other side or Spirit Guide. That works too.
Or the opponents can just go, nah, we want to focus on somebody else. Or
true. That was the option too. Oh, and are they gonna die? The ultimate coming in, and Mr. Hudak goes down because the powers combined. And Aramil as well, and now Emperor on their own. What can they do from here?
It will be just Emperor trying to find a way to deal so much damage. He does have ultimate, but he will use just eats it. Invuln will keep him alive for a few seconds. But
gotta say, very nice jukes there. Unfortunately, didn't have Crushing Blow or anything to really have invulnerability frames, and of course 3v1, that's always difficult.
Yeah, no.
But still, those are really nice jukes, especially in the pocket. That is tough to survive even that long.
We are at map point to push us to that 3rd map. Soft, not much to say in the way of point damage there. Mr. Duhat probably needs to work out how to stand back a little.
Yeah, Mr. Hudat is able to, as long as Mr. Hudat doesn't take too much damage, it should be fine. I mean, Lucy is Lucy, and with all the divas going on, I actually haven't been looking as much with clarity potions, how many have been used. That's
look at that damage!
Mr. Hudat, yes, indeed, that damage. Mr. Hudat almost dead, panicking the way out of that and forcing the corner, but it's still not enough.
He's still stuck in the corner. He's stuck. He has to barrier himself, and it's Jesus Christ. We're all in the pocket now.
Yeah, it's a knife fight here, but Terrace gets their way out of there, and Aramil, the only one left stuck in it, and Tehurt's really good at the escapes. Unfortunately, they have to be, but they are.
The Wolf route means that Duhat has to go and work out a way to avoid getting killed. Good ultimate, but then incapped to make him waste it. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so at least it was worth a shot, but now at this point, Tehurt's is down, Ancestral Spirit is up. Not going to get the stun, though, and not really sure what can be done here. Looks like Soft is about to go down. Yeah, Soft is down, and Sesh, what can you do? 3v1. If you get up Mr. Hudak, you might have a chance.
No, he's going, nah. He just gets back onto his mount and decides, nah, I'm not even in this fight anymore.
Well, they still have another 3 rounds that they can win in.
Mr. Hudat. We have to keep. We've got people in chat flaming us about the names.
Flaming you about the names.
Yes, my apologies. We will be going into this next round. It's 3 rounds for red side to pick up, but Soft only needs 1 out of this.
And to hurt
Mongo meter.
Be careful. I mean, it looks like blue team, they got it. I wonder if they're trying to get desperate. I mean, they are starting to get out of position here. They're focusing very hard on Mr. Hudet, not as much focusing on the safer play that was winning them the rounds. And at this point, they're ahead on health, thankfully, though. They're managing to heal up and stay ahead.
Hudet managing to just stay out of the arena.
Yeah, but at the same time, we have Sesh throwing in a very nice ultimate, and another. There goes Mr. Hudet down, thanks to Ancestral Spirit. Soft getting those second Ancestral Spirit hits over and over. I mean,
I'm a break on everyone.
Forget what I said earlier. That Battlerite's working for them very hard.
Oh, jeez. Emperor has to keep the dream alive. Keep this to a second map. He'll eat. He won't be able to do it. Mongo meter ties up this series 1-1.
So 1-1, first map 3 of this entire tournament today. That's exciting.
Well, we have been seeing a lot of very close matchups, but this has been more of a we just utter domination one side and then utter domination the other. So quite interesting.
Yeah, I think, I mean, a lot of that felt like the map. I realized there was good play coming out of Mongo meta. They were getting careful. They knew how they were working in how Varesh would play with everything else, the slower play, the more careful play. They were pushing forward, but I really liked, it was more of what they did in Skyring Knight, where they would jump forward and then escape back, especially when they were managing to trigger off the Wujus. And it was really neat seeing them just keep cycling in and out like that. But that is a tough way of doing it. And it worked better on Blackstone Arena, just that general pull forward and then collapse together style. But the next map is really going to decide it. I think this comp is very map dependent, or at least this team plays it in a very map dependent way. Not to mention, how often have we seen Blackstone Arena Knight? I wonder how often 3v3 teams play Blackstone Arena Knight.
Almost never, I would probably say. Like, they probably want to focus on a different thing, and it will be we're going into the picks almost immediately. Mr. Hudet will pick up the Rook first, then it will go to Soft, picking up Varash and Rukan.
Not surprised anymore about that.
Well, we do have to. It did work that last round. It was
exactly.
Mostly quite effective, especially with the silences, but even Rukan doing even more damage. Will be interesting to see if what the response is, whether they'll go with Rukan and Lucy, or if they'll go with something different.
Yeah, or if they just go, you know what, screw it, Pearl.
Nah.
Mr. Hudet's Pearl. But Mr. Hudet's Pearl. I know, they probably won't go for that. I don't know why. I mean, the counters would help a bit, but, like, I was right! I called it! Pearl Rukan for Mr. Hudet. Or rather, for Earth, Water, and Arrow. We're seeing the water. We aren't seeing the arrow, though, actually. There's no Jumong.
So,
now that I think about it.
It will be Rook, Pearl, Rukan versus Varesh, Rukan, and Soft trying to decide what that last pick will be.
Yeah. Man, that Pearl's probably a bit out of nowhere. Is it going to be Paloma? I mean, not sure who else they would pick. But
maybe Lucy? Well, we do need a support, don't we? The alternative is...
They could go triple DPS.
Esmo?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that'd be tough against Pearl's counters and silences, though.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Not to mention Rook, all the control, Rukan just pulling you around everywhere.
Actually, no. Sorry, I was going to say Oldia, but then I realized there's nothing ranged there, so it's just Rook and Rukan. What's good against Rook and Rukan? Just double melee if you're a support. Just the most... What? No, it will just be Lucy.
That's all the one that comes to mind, are the barriers and everything. Although, yeah, I mean, if you had to go support, that's a tough question. If you could go for anybody, then Ashka wouldn't be a great option. It would be an okay option.
We'll be looking
Yeah,
very closely at this
and
as
it is
we
Lucy.
get. Yeah, we'll be going into the map bans for this final map.
Yeah, at this point, we have real question of what's going to happen because we have had team swaps. Mr. Hudat's Pearl is the best Pearl I've seen. There may be better Pearls, but I've not seen them. And I was
Just
looking forward to
waiting.
seeing Mr. Hudat's Pearl. So this is exciting for me.
It will be Ormian Temple Day banned first. Skyring Ring Arena Night banned.
By Earthwind and by Earthwater and Arrow? They
Yeah.
won on that map. Wow.
Maybe they don't want the space.
Maybe,
anymore.
yeah. That could, I mean, I guess if you're going for Pearl or Pearl Rook, it wouldn't be
Good.
ideal necessarily. But now Blackstone Arena Day is out. Sorry.
Blackstone, the Knight's still in there, so we could be going back to Knight. They're leaving the option in. Do you want to go to Mount Araz Day Night or Blackstone Arena Night? It's a question that Ewa is faced with. Do you want to be guaranteed Mount Araz or nope?
That's Mount
It's up
Araz
to
Day.
Mongo meter.
No, back to again Blackstone Arena Night. Okay, well, that's twice in a row. The Black Sheep map, or one of them, really. There's like 5, but one of them twice in a row. Why not? So we have Blackstone Arena Night once again, and it did work for Mongo Meta last time. But then is it going to work again? Especially since, I mean, they did pick it. So that's probably why. They had the final pick. Why wouldn't they?
It's going to be quite an interesting play here, especially with Pearl actually on this map. I haven't seen a Pearl walk around Blackstone Arena Night for a while. The trigger points on Blackstone Arena Night would be good for the bubbles, wouldn't it? I would say just getting bubbles into those pockets would be horrible.
Yeah, I would throw down some. Well, the thing is that oftentimes when you're playing Pearl, and Mr. Hudat in particular does this, you throw the unstable bubble, the EX bubble, on the orb, and then grab it that way. That is Mr. Hudat's orb control. Now, they might have changed that up, but my understanding is that they're still playing that way. That's still kind of the way Pearl goes. So I don't imagine they're going to be using it too much offensively. At least, they might use it once they alternate between offense and orb, but I don't imagine they're going to be doing much other than that.
Well, we're just waiting for one player to ready up, and then we'll get right back underway with your third and final map of this series. We do have one last game after this as well. Just quite a long series, but it will be worth the wait. While we're waiting.
Well, we'll see how that goes. I mean, both teams in here, and Excel Wizards, I mean, Niwa and Finlev and Skywind all together, that's the next round. Versus JD, Trinth, and Narak Haydn. Niwa's getting subbed out. Never mind.
Niwa's going to be subbed out. Oh boy. Was really looking forward to seeing Niwa, but is still a great player. Okay. We'll be going into the pickups for heroes, just getting everyone ready, making sure they pick the correct hero that they just drafted. Varesh is back on Hertz. Hertz is back on Varesh.
Yep, and of course Lucy forced Sovd. Sovd changing out the Paloma to the Lucy, which kind of makes sense. The Paloma did feel like a bit of a weak link. It was doing work. The Ancestral Spirit was awesome. It's just Paloma's healing is, of course, a little bit tricky to work out. And against a Pearl, you're going to have, like, with Pearl, you can just throw out those counters that get the disables off of the Wolves. Then the Wolves become less useful, and then you have the bubbles don't really change too much. But yeah, so I'm just more comfortable with Lucy here.
Yep. Power of Deep, dive charges your weapon. Blast Shield, applying barrier causes the shockwave for Sovd. I can't even say his name right now. The Lucy will pick up the barrier, and we're waiting on Emperor's Battlerite before we start off this first round in the map 3.
Yeah, so starting out, looks like relatively typical right picks from everybody. Although, Saab going for the blast shield, going for the barrier, because we do have a double, well, we have Rukan and Rook.
Yeah.
So Saab prepared for that.
And it get immediately the bubble in that choke point. Oh, jeez. This is going to be one hell of a map to play on.
On Wujuing, the silence, well, the charge, but still, nice bubble there. The hand adjustment might still hit. Just barely avoided, but man, Emperor was playing it risky.
Orb will be picked up by Emperor, the red side, as Emperor is just slamming into this. Oh, geez. Good rock to push the Lucy into him.
And down goes Jaws to Hertz, being thrown into the middle of this, getting crushing blow, getting Sinister Scythe, everything thrown at them. To Hertz getting all the hate, going down from it.
Varesh is down, and that means that this is most likely going to be a round for the boys in red. Just
and it looks
getting...
like it.
Yep.
Sesh, one more hut. There it is. The ultimate finishing them off. Earthquakes all around.
Earth, water, arrows is back. Jesus. All damage done by Emperor right there. Match, but on the other side, we do, as Mr. Who Dat is getting really good bubbles, especially just on that first map, just completely focusing on those little choke points. Although, to be fair, the choke points are a little bit wider than the bubble is, but it still doesn't really matter.
No, still using them to make sure that they stop, especially Shadow Bolts like that. It's more than Mr. Hudas is doing them when something big comes up and making sure that it doesn't actually do anything. And the Charge Vault of Water's not managing to do a whole lot, but it does... Oh, wow, actually, the focus does all the pulling, all the manipulation, making sure Soft can never feel comfortable.
Lucy is low, but so is Emperor. He has to charge out of there.
Indeed, Emperor being forced to heal up, but does manage to do so. And at this point, Blue Team with a slight health advantage, and Soft getting more pressure, but Emperor's almost dead. A few good hits, one or two good combos, and Emperor's done.
Had to out Armil, but we do see ultimate being popped by Suresh, and then ultimate popped by Varesh. Jeez, ultimate popped everyone. Hertz gets the jaws. He will be eaten alive and will be thrown into Emperor's waiting hands. Armil is down.
Aramil did go down, so it is 2v3, and to Hertz still at a pretty healthy 180. Oh no, 120 HP. Even sitting inside the crippling goo. Just why sit inside the crippling goo? I don't know. Pearl thought it was comfy.
No, what happened was Pearl dived over there, and then we had Lucy just soft going, oh, he used his dive. Mr. Hudat doesn't have that many escapes, and the second you get once you've used your dive, that's it. You're pretty vulnerable to a nice, juicy poison lava floor. Poison floor.
Yeah, I gotta say that was really good. That was, you're right, the dive. And that was the thing, is that's something you gotta do when you're dealing with people doing like dive or jetpack or shifting stance or any escapability, especially if it's one that's basically their only one.
Yeah.
Then when you know where they're gonna be a lot of the time, you can just throw it out there where they're gonna end up, and there's like stuff like crippling goo or even ancestral spirit to an extent, and they're caught in the middle and they can't do anything unless the teammate saves them. And Aramil was already dead, so there's no Claudia dying.
Soft picking up Swift Roll instead of the other usual stuff, Companion Potion instead of the Barrier. But we will be getting right underway with round 3.
And at this point, Mr. Hudat once again taking a fair bit of pressure, but Sesh putting themselves right in front, risky, but gets out of there nonetheless. Without too much, really not too worse for the wear.
They're just trying to body block the orb on the red team right there. Just making sure they can take it, but might have taken a little bit too much damage out of that.
Well, it seems like it's all right. Red team is at low health, and blue team
double?
is full health, but there is the double.
No,
just
single.
The single. Just the single. Only managed to catch Sesh, but still, that did a fair bit of damage. Unfortunately, it wasn't the double. If it was, that would mean that Emperor wouldn't have to have escaped that desperately.
Emperor is just in such a bad position.
Wow, clutch counter to stay alive though, but not enough. Hand of Corruption finishing the job, and crippling goo to keep Soft somewhat safe, but unfortunately, with that ultimate there, didn't really make a huge difference. Aramil did not have to risk their life.
Won't really matter that much as Armel's just able to move. Oh, good bubble though to stop the just influx of everyone just charging in at him. But
Yeah,
it
stop
might
the
not be
silence
enough.
too. No,
Might
indeed,
be
unfortunately, it's
enough,
not. And Mr.
Too
Hugh
hot.
on their own. They have Jaws. They can throw it out there anytime. It's probably waiting for just the perfect moment to get a triple Jaws. Oh, that's not quite sudden death though.
Yeah, he won't be having sudden death help him anytime soon, unfortunately, which is quite sad.
Oh, the Argon and the counter, the charge vault of water consumed.
There's
and
one.
Went for the went for none, and Sesh, great nether boy to get out of there. Did not manage to Jaws anybody. So well done to Mongo Meta at this point. They are 2-1.
It's 900 damage during that round, but here comes the fun part. He will be picking up Synergy, and that means that Judgment and Corruption are going to be reapplied all the time. Stimulant, of course.
The win more strategy. So
extra
damage from Stimulant too.
Yeah. Just with Sesh versus Armil, Sesh went with Agony, Showbolt, Steel, Burns Damage, and Gorge, whereas Armil's gone with Death Grip for the lower cooldown on Claw of the Wicked, and Never Change, Sinister Strike inflicts Curse.
Yeah, and especially with Bane on top of that, with a Curse enemy taking extra damage, that could translate to a lot of extra damage for Aramil, or at least manage to get past Corruption and the damage penalty that imposes.
We will get underway. Sesh just going to be clawed right into the middle.
And managing to survive that, not really a huge problem. And Wuju pulling to Hertz had to reform out of there because they were pulled into a terrible position. That Wuju was less than ideal. However, blue team getting the orb, so that is good news.
Do see to Hertz trying to work out what to do. Armor breaks, silenced, slammed into the good barrier by Soft to block all that damage though.
And 360 Hands of Judgment on Emperor to finish them off. Although Emperor getting saved by Aramil. Aramil coming in to get rid of the pressure, and Jaws to take to Hertz out of that fight. Not going to do too much damage, but Aramil still going down with the ultimate coming out of Sesh.
To Hertz actually used his ultimate to leap into the jaws, missing the first hit on it. So a bit of an interesting play there. Ooh, and that will be Who Dat versus 3.
Everybody.
I don't. No.
Not even trying. They just want to save their energy for the next round. They have another 4 rounds to win. I mean, they can lose the next round, and they have another 4 they need to win. There's no reason to burn too much power yet.
3-1 in favor of Soft to Hertz and Sesh. Your Mongo meter.
Yeah, and actually, chat pointing out that Hertz did go for the bouncing Hand of Judgment, which is a little bit unusual. Well, it's not unusual. It's actually very usual, but it does mean counters are easier to trigger. So both Emperor and Mr. Hugh, actually all 3, because Aramil has Consume, can take advantage of that.
True.
I haven't noticed it too often, but they can do it.
Pretty standard. Sticky Goo, Presence of the Sea instead of the Fishes, Earthquake, Hunger, and of course Internal. Pretty standard final Battlerite's picked up as we are in round 5.
Yeah, and with that, it's double silence. Nice splash silence coming in there, helping out a little bit, taking the pressure off, but not managing to do a whole lot. Session to Hertz, pulling all the pressure in, and really, Mr. Hudad might be going down first this time around. Though it does escape some of that pressure, but not as much as they would like.
Very good bubbles from him, and he had to just wait until his dive was on cooldown. He's in a bad position. He needs that Jaws.
And there it is. No, it's Crippling Goo.
The Crippling Goo because Hudat did use his ultimate, but he will be pushed out using his own bubble.
Well, at any rate, Sesh in the center, holding that, and oh no, Soft, get out of there. Soft needs to roll out of there with something. Barriers instead, and they do have the barrier, the burst on the barrier. 2. So at the very least, it's out of there, and down goes Mr. Hudad. They were the first to go here, and Aramil might be the next to go. They are the next target for sure.
It will just be Rukan just grabbing everything. Was that C cancel on Emperor's own ultimate to eat, and won't matter that much though. It will be 4-1, and game point, map and game point in favor of Mongo meter.
Yeah, this turning around. Mr. Hudette going for Pearl. They're definitely doing a lot of work, but I don't think the team practiced with Mr. Hudette as Pearl as much, because it seems like that wasn't what they were going for earlier. And that was just the map. I really think a lot of it is like seeing if what Skyring Knight, the work they did on Skyring Knight. I think it's just this map is so unfamiliar. I don't know.
Oh,
though.
it's such an yeah. Sorry, it's just shit. This is like Skyrim Knight is such an open map. This is not. This has pockets. This has walls. You don't want to be trapped here. And see, Mr. Hudat got trapped by in 3. Eureka as the dive and into a ultimate by Varesh. What the hell? So much hate.
Yes, all the pressure on Mr. Hudette. They know that Mr. Hudette can't be left alone. If they are, that is too dangerous. But I think a lot of it, Blackstone Arena Knight is a map which does allow for, I mean, given the shape of it, it allows for a lot of control without having to actually position everything perfectly. Skyring Knight, I feel like that rewards perfect positioning a lot, because you have nothing to help you. There's no walls, really.
Yeah.
The map doesn't do any work for you. Everything's a matter of knowing how you and your team has to position themselves. And now the ultimate coming out here with the Wraith Hand on top of the crippling goo, stopping Aramil from living.
It will be Emperor trying to work out how to... Sorry.
Trying to get out of there. Just mounting out of there. They're done. I don't know what they have left up their sleeve. But yes, this map does help a lot when it comes to positioning.
Good point. Yeah, good point out there by Mr. Fireblaze. M2 damage amp plus curse damage amp is 35% extra damage.
Oh,
yeah.
That is a very fair point.
Scary. But we will be seeing Mongo Meter winning 2-1 in this game. Thank you very much for watching. Any thoughts on this round before we move on to our last match of the night?
It was definitely, I mean, the round was pretty clear. It was pretty decided. I kind of wish that Pearl had done a bit more work, but I feel like it was really just a matter of they got focused down. I mean, they knew Mr. Hudette was dangerous as Pearl, didn't want to let that happen. But I feel like the overall game, Mongo meta, I thought they were done at the first round, and then they just came right back, which is still interesting to me that it was that map. And I'd be curious to see them play in Skyring Knight again, because I'm starting to think that Skyring Knight is very much a fundamentals testing map. Like you were